Some quick headlines now. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange rejecting a deal overnight to leave Ecuador's embassy in London. Evidently, he loves it there. The agreement proposed by Ecuador and the UK guarantees Britain would not extradite him to another country where he might be so-called unsafe. But his lawyer telling The Telegraph Assange won't accept a deal that does not protect him from being sent to the United States, where we live. He's been living at the embassy under asylum for 6 years. That must smell fantastic, by the way. And Paris shutting down tourist attractions like the Eiffel Tower as it braces for protests tomorrow. French officials say they cannot take risks after last weekend's riots over a controversial fuel tax hike. President Macron scrapped those plans, but protesters are now making more demands. And I demand Stephen Ainsley talk now.
Okay.
We'll do whatever you say, Brian.
Thank you.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg back in the hot seat.
British lawmakers releasing 250 pages of email suggesting that Facebook prioritize growth and profits over their users' privacy.
So here to break down what these emails mean for you as a Facebook participant, national and cybersecurity contributor for The Hill and senior fellow at the Center for Digital Government, Morgan Wright. Morgan, thanks for being with us.
You bet, Ainsley.
So they release these emails. They seize these emails from Facebook, 250 different emails. The UK Parliament does this. What did they find in those emails?
What they found out is that we are worth about 10 cents apiece to Mark Zuckerberg because that's the price he put on you and me. So between you, me, and Steve, we're worth 30 cents to Mark Zuckerberg, and he was going to sell that to the companies. Now they come back and they say, well, no, we didn't really consider it. Look, if your moral compass says we don't sell user data, we never will, and yet you have these discussions, you've now started down that slippery slope to where one day it becomes easier and easier to think about selling our data. So in Silicon Valley, there's a saying that says when it's free, you're the product, and so we're the product.
Absolutely. And Facebook famously, Morgan, has said a million times, we don't sell your information,
right,
although they did put a price of 10 cents per year on it. But so what? I mean, Facebook is a private company. They can do whatever they want, can't they?
You know, you don't have the right to run a stop sign, and hit the other guy's car either. So at some point, we have to put rules and restrictions to say, look, you can only do so much with privacy. Steve, the biggest problem is we don't know what's being done with our stuff. Now, if we knew completely what was being done with our stuff, that it was being given to Cambridge Analytica,
right,
in addition to that, we also have data breaches where they're not protecting our privacy. I'd say, yeah, that'd be a different thing. But this is not one of those things to where we understand really what's going on because there's no way to. It's buried under rules and regulations and all this legal stuff. So until we have a clear Bill of Rights that tells consumers, here's what we do exactly with your data, like what the EU's doing with the GDPR, I think we're going to have these problems. And by the way, the fact that they collect all this information, when a data breach happens, it means more and more of our information gets exposed. So it's actually more dangerous to us the more information they collect on us.
Now, Morgan, we did reach out to Facebook, and they sent us a comment. They said documents gathered for their baseless case are only part of the story and are presented in a way that is very misleading without additional context. But the facts are clear. We have never sold people's data. What's your reaction to that?
I think it was George Orwell wrote a book called Animal Farm where he said, look, some animals are more equal than others.
Right.
Some data is more equal than others. They weren't going to charge for that. What they were going to do is say, look, you advertisers, if you spend